This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Mulvane, Kansas.
Mulvane, Kansas.
I've never been here.
Yeah,
Have you been here before?
Never been here. Yeah, things for a reason.
It's warm anyway, at least
Yeah,
it's warm.
so hot, right? Don't even need a jacket.
I'm joined by Arias.
Yeah.
I was going to say welcome to Kansas, but I have no right to say that. I'm from the UK, so I've got no right to say that whatsoever. So
Welcome
everybody
to
I speak
America.
Welcome to America, that's better. Yeah, let's just obviously drop back to the press conference. Obviously you and Gabe kind of stole the show.
Yeah.
With a few words there. Is the 10 grand bet still on?
Yeah, I'm on it. I think it's on. You know, where I'm from, when you shake on it, it's valid. You know, so we shook on it. I'm ready. I'm with it. I'm gonna have my money. So I hope to get my other 10 when I get this victory on Saturday.
Obviously, when you were called up to the press conference, you kind of fired some shots at Gabe, which I was watching that live, and I thought, I know Rosado isn't going to take too pleasantly, shall we say, to some of your comments when you said kind of, you know, this guy's kind of lost 11 times and all this, but all right, you were speaking facts because,
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But is there a dislike there with Gabe, or is this just kind of just fight talk?
It's not a dislike, and before the battle of the fist comes the battle of the mind. You know, so I knew how to ruffle his feathers. You know, I've been seeing Rosado for a long time, and like you said, I'm not talking shit. I'm just stating facts. You know, everybody keeps saying I'm talking shit, but I'm not talking about nothing that's not backed up with facts. All I said was the man lost 11 times, and that's a lot of losses. Regardless, you know, it's a lot of losses. So that's all I did was bring up the losses. You know, I knew he wasn't gonna like that. You know, he feels like he's been robbed, you know, X amount of times and blah 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 blah. So I just knew how to get under his skin. You know, I know how to get to him, and then it worked. So I'm in the kid's mind. Once the minds beat, it's pretty much a wrap.
I mean, when we look at Gabriel Rosado's career, he's been in with the best fighters, and he hasn't obviously like you.
Good fighters.
He's been all right, okay, but he's been in with some
good fighters.
Good fighters.
I give him one very elite fighter.
Golovkin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything but everyone else, good.
Okay. All right. Okay. But he's been on the wrong end of a few decisions before that possibly should have gone his way as well. You admitted that yourself in the press conference.
Yeah. 3 out of 11. Okay, the Jalen fight, I felt like it was a draw, you know, but he came in at the end. He made it look, just because you look good or you catch steam in the later part of the fight, doesn't necessarily mean you're getting robbed. You know what I mean? Like okay, let's just say there's a 10-round fight. If you lose the first 6 rounds of the fight and you have a great last 4 rounds, you still lost the fight. You can't say you got robbed when you only won 4 out of the 10 rounds. Yeah, it was the last 4, and that's why it makes it look like you got robbed because you finished stronger, but you're not getting robbed when you lose the first 60% of the fight, 65% of the fight. And like I said before, Rosado just finishes strong. If you gas or if you physically slow down, he's gonna catch steam and look better at the end. And that's what he's done in a lot of his fights, which is he's claiming why he got robbed. But again, you can't get robbed when you lose 6 out of 10. Just because you won the last couple of them doesn't give you the fight. So that's just my take on it, you know. But I give him 3. I'll give him 3 fights. So okay, he'd still be 27-8, which is still a lot of losses. So my points are still valid, regardless of the times he got robbed or not.
Okay, so you're taking this fight straight off the back of your defeat to Daniel Jacobs, which, from your own admission, it wasn't your best performance of your career. You've labelled it as your worst performance of your career.
100%.
Daniel Jacobs has, from then, obviously gone on now to become IBF middleweight champion. So, I mean, what's the goal for 2019? Is to get a crack at the world middleweight title as soon as possible again?
Yeah, you know, we want to get a title fight. We want to fight for that world title. Originally, I was going to move down to 154 and test the waters at 154. I feel like I'm making 160 just a little bit too easy. But this fight at 160 happened, you know, so I'm just in a good position. You know, I'm a good fight for a lot of these champions. And I can fight at 154, I can fight at 160. So if the opportunity to go fight for a world title at 160 presents itself, the situation's correct, my team feels like it's an opportunity we can't give up, then we take it. But if we can get a crack at a 154 title, you know, and the same opportunity comes up and we can get it, we'll take it. You know, I'm in a good position, but the ultimate goal is to place myself into title contentions in 19 or at the end of 19. You know, things come and go, you never know. You know, you might get a phone call and get a title shot. Warriors, just relax, and if you got to jump on it, you got to jump on it. So we're just going to be in position. We're going to look good on Saturday, show the world that we are still an elite fighter, regardless of my last impression, and we'll take it from there, one fight at a time.
How do you kind of assess the world scene at middleweight now? Obviously, the UK lost one of its champions with Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, get off that shit.
Lost one of his champions, obviously not inside the ring, but outside the ring. He vacated his title. Andrade fought for it against Carlton Dokwa, become champion. So the division is again wide open from obviously Golovkin and Canelo, who held the majority of the belts. It's now wide open again with various champions. So does that mean more opportunity for everyone else, really?
Yeah, I mean, the middleweight division has proven itself to be, in my opinion, one of the top ones. To me, it's welterweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. Those are the hottest division. Those are the bigger money fights. So again, if a lucrative money fight comes at 160, we're gonna jump on it, you know. But if we can do it correctly and go get a crack at a 154 title, we'll do that. You know, I'm in a good position. You know, regardless of my last fight, I'm in a good position, and I'm gonna be in even better position once I win on Saturday. I get this victory on Saturday. We look good, and then we'll have countless opportunities, and they're gonna come. Each one of those champions you just named, they're gonna need opponents, you know. And there's only so many top guys out there that guys can fight. Canelo just signed an 11-fight deal. Can you name 10 or 11 good opponents?
No, I'll
you
say
can't.
no straight away.
No, I can't.
Currently, no.
Yeah, I can name you 4 good ones, you know, and they're gonna shy away from some of them. So opportunities are gonna present themselves for people in my position, you know, not, you know, who fought on TV before, who got a good resume, who can put up a good fight. And all you gotta do is take advantage of one of those opportunities and your life changes overnight. So that's what we do, just get in a good position, stay ready, and jump on the perfect opportunity.
In that press conference, you acknowledged Eddie Hearn kind of getting you back out there so soon after, obviously, that defeat to Jacobs. And yeah, with obviously this new...
Not so soon, it took a year, but, you know, yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
But still,
wrong wording from me, but getting you back out, shall we say? Sorry, my mistake there. But how's the relationship with Eddie Hearn? Obviously, DAZN, the new kids on the block, doing big things as well.
Yeah, big things. Yeah, you know, Eddie's just a great businessman, and if he sees an opportunity with any type of a fighter where he can put on a good business show or put on a good fight, he'll jump on it, and I'm grateful for that. You know, I just happened to be in a good opportunity when he came with this new platform with DAZN. I was a free agent. Again, there's only so many good fights you can put on on those TV fights, and I stand amongst one of them. You know, I'm just a tough opponent for a lot of fighters. You know, I dropped the ball, and once I prove it on Saturday night that I am a great opponent and I'm a great fight for a lot of these guys, you'll see. But you know, Eddie has got the money, he's got the shows, he needed fighters, and I was just in a great position. You know, he was able to put that last fight behind me, which is a good thing. You know, a lot of promoters, they see one bad performance and these guys are done, you know, and they got to go find new homes. So he saw that I dropped the ball in my last fight, but he still gave me another opportunity. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm thankful for that. And it's crazy that a man from the UK had to come to America, and I had to go that route. But regardless, I'm just glad to be fighting. I'm happy to be fighting, and I just can't wait to get in the ring on Saturday.
He's not very popular in America, is he, Eddie Hearn? Amongst the people in boxing, that's what he says anyway. I don't live in America, so I don't know. Maybe you can answer that better than me.
He's known. He's known. The people know that Eddie.
He's known.
Yeah. But the thing is, you know, of course, it's like, you know, it's kind of like a pride thing with a lot of Americans, in my opinion. Like, how are we gonna let this guy from a different country just come in here and just start booming right away? So of course they're gonna try to, you know, make it harder than it seems, you know. But he's doing the right things. You know, he's not stopping it. You know, he's still going. Just because, you know, a couple roadblocks have been in his way, He found a way to just slowly maneuver, and he's still putting on shows. You know, eventually, you know, guys got to be like, you know, fuck it. You know, he's doing it right. He's giving you the promotion. You know, he's doing the right things. He's promoting fights. He's putting on big fights. He's paying well. So I don't understand what the animosity is. It's just because his accent's a little different. I don't care what you sound like. You know, the paperwork is there. The business is correct. The money is correct. So there's no need for anything else, man. Just like I said, he's on a roll, and I don't see him being stopped, man. And props to him and his team.
Because Eddie said previously in interviews, he feels as though, you know, when obviously he's trying to sign fighters left, right, and centre, but he believes it's the advice they're getting as opposed to the fighter making their own decision. Is that true to say? Do you think?
Yeah. See, it's just, you know, in America, you're on one side or you're on the other side, you know. So it's you know, a lot of people need to understand America, back in the day, boxing was ran by the mob. You know, the mob ran the boxing fights back in the early days. So that whole theme of, you know, we're controlling everything and no one's controlling anything else, like this is our show, that same kind of philosophy is still kind of going on here in America. It's either one side, as you can see, it's Heyman and those guys on one side. It's Top Rank and that crew on one side. And then finally, just Golden Boy's like, you know, I'm gonna just move around. So now it's gonna look like Golden Boy and Eddie, you know. And I just feel like if those boundaries were just, you know, let's just put on great fights, it'll be better for the fans. But that's just the way boxing business has been ran here in America for X amount of years. You know, as long as it's not stopping anybody, you know, people are still gonna be doing their thing, you know. So they're just not trying to get in the way of each other, but they're not helping each other out as well. So it gets tricky, man. That's how we get some of these bogus fights.
Are you saying all these kind of groups are like the five families?
Yeah. That's what it looks like. I mean,
yeah,
you know, at the end of the day, I'm a fan first. You know,
yeah.
I'm a fan. So I ask all the questions like, why can't we see this fight and that fight? Or why can't we see Crawford Spence? Why can't we see, you know, Joshua Wilder? Why can't we see? And that's because, you know, this family's like, no, we're staying here. We're keeping our money over here. And this guy's like, no, we're keeping our money over here. And then when we have no choice, where the fights are too big, they'll be like, all right, we'll finally come together. You know, it's just how things have been ran. You know, it's just, you could blame Mayweather for that. You know, he's a part of that. You know, that Pacquiao, Mayweather, you know, then, you know, Golden Boy over here. You know, that's just how things been in America. I don't know how it's been in the UK. Well, do Frank Warren and Eddie, do they put shows on together? Are they getting each other's way?
Not really. To be fair, I mean, look, it's no secret, obviously, unless there's a purse bid situation or a mandatory situation, then very rarely. In fact, the Saunders-Andrade fight, obviously Billy Joe Saunders is with Frank Warren, Andrade's under Eddie Hearn. That was the first time that a deal was reached, actually, as far as I know, in a long time between, obviously, Frank and Eddie to make the fight happen. So that fight didn't end up happening, so we're yet to kind of see.
But the paperwork was signed.
What's that?
The paperwork was signed, so the business was done.
Yeah, there was encouraging signs that if a fight at that level for a world title between one of Frank Warren's top kids in Billy Joe and obviously Andrade with Eddie, if that can be made outside of like purse bids and all this stuff, a deal could be reached, then anything can be done. So
yeah. See, one thing you got to give it up to Frank Warren. Frank Warren didn't stop his fighter from making that money.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Eddie came and was like, yo, I want this fight. You know, I got more money for the fight. You know, Frank wasn't like, oh, well, we're not going to fight you because that's too much money, you know. I wish things like that could happen over here, but we'd get better fights, you know. But again, it's just the way business has been ran in America is just different, you know, and that's just how the game goes. You know, we don't make the rules, we just play the game.
The interesting one will come, just to finish off on this, is if Anthony Joshua is to fight Tyson Fury, because we'll be in the same situation there. Anthony Joshua is with Eddie Hearn, Tyson Fury is with Frank Warren. So again, if this fight materialises over the next year, 18 months.
It still can.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. Regardless of what happens with Fury and Wilder, I think the Joshua-Fury fight can still happen and be massive.
Yeah.
You guys say massive in England.
What do you say? Well, how'd you say
Same
big fight?
thing, yeah. Huge, big fight, you know, but I think, you
fucking
know,
huge,
massive.
mate. We say
fucking
huge.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and you know, I feel like it's just better for boxing, for people, when the business is just, you know, done correctly, you know. But again, it's a money thing, it's a pride thing, it's just politic thing.
Yeah.
So we just got to deal with it, you know. But it'll get better, man. I feel like better fights are getting made. I mean, I think 2018 has been a good year for boxing. You know, some good fights have been made. So.
Which gives us optimism for 2019. Look,
yeah.
I mean, the Spence and Garcia fight was announced amongst the load from PBC yesterday.
Yeah,
so
yeah, a lot of good fights. Yeah. So there's a couple world title fights in there, you know, and yeah, boxing's booming. At the end of the day, boxing's booming. So we
see Peter Quillen back as well in the mix as well.
Who he fighting? Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But keep doing your thing, Peter. Keep trying.
Obviously, it's been a few years since. Well, it's been 3 or 4 years since your kind of publicised split from Mayweather's, etc. But that's a closed chapter for you now, isn't it? This is a kind of
closed door. You know, I mean, when you're on that side, I left that side. So once you leave that side, again, it's a wrap. You know, so it was just a great life experience. It was me learning the game, just learning the game. I've had to learn the game, you know, through trial and error. You know, that's how I had to learn and come up, you know, to get all my fights. It's just been through trial and error. And it was just a good, you know, a great learning experience, a good way to see a top champion in his top form and see how everything's handled, the way his business is ran, the way, you know, a camp is ran and things. It was just a great experience, and I'm blessed. I'm glad to have learned all those lessons, and it's made me a better man, a stronger fighter, smarter fighter too.
A lot of things happens in boxing behind the scenes that, unless you're involved in it, you know, we don't get to really see, let alone hear. Were you kind of disappointed that that video did leak at the time? Because obviously that was a private discussion between yourself and Jay Leon and Floyd.
Yeah.
Were you disappointed that that kind of side was out or not?
It was a gift and a curse.
Right.
Gift because boom, you know, Bob Arum called me the next day. So it opened up doors. You know, and it was a great sign. A curse though, because, you know, you're obviously like, damn, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, you got fired and everyone saw you get fired. So, but again, great learning experience. I seen a lot, I learned a lot, you know, so I wish it went a different way, but it went the way it went. We learned from it, we moved on, and I still made it to my TV fights. I still made it to some good money fights. And it's just, you know, that's just America. There's not one way to make money. There's tons of ways to make money. There's countless opportunities.
It's a really good attitude you have towards this, because other people could have still been, you know, people that are still kind of bitter over stuff that happened 10, 15 years ago, let alone 3 or 4 years ago. But your attitude to it is, it's a learning curve. That happened then. This is my life now, and that's really the reality of it.
Yeah. And I ran into Floyd couple months ago. Like a couple months ago. We were eating at Musashi's. It's a little restaurant out there, a little hibachi place in Vegas. And, you know, he was there with his crew, and I walked up to him, and I was like, you know, just shook his hand. I was like, yo, you know, just want to make sure we good, man. Whatever happened, and we good. He said, no, we good, man. Just do your thing. And, you know, I said, all right, cool. Shook on it. He went left, I went right. I finished my food, he left. And that was it, you know. And I'm not getting in his way, because I can't really, because he's Floyd. And he's not really getting in my way. Again, there's more than one way to become a champion. There's more than one way to become financially stable, you know. And there's more than one way to get fights. And I'm a perfect, you know, example of that. You know, I left that situation, went to a different one. I just kept doing my thing, kept winning. I made it to HBO regardless. Kept fighting. Now I made it to the zone. So, again, we're different roadblocks. You just got to take it as life lessons and just make the best of it. Just keep going.
Absolutely. All right, well, listen, we've got... it's going to feel like a long week now, because it's like there's nothing... People don't realise watching, there's nothing to do where we are.
You can gamble. You don't like gambling?
I won $200 yesterday.
Yeah, you see, make that 200 to 400, 400 to 1,000. You never know. You know, it might be your best time in America.
No, but I was saying
but no,
to
it
the
ain't
guys
nothing
here
to do.
today, I wouldn't come to anywhere like this without boxing. So it's like, I kind of appreciate being here. So
yeah, it's different.
It's different. Yeah.
It's like I went to England. It's like obviously you got London, but you got the little Sheffield is like, you know,
Yeah.
where's that Olympic training center? Is that in Sheffield? Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a small little town. You know, there's smaller
You've
towns.
been out in Sheffield?
Yeah, I was out in Sheffield. I went to London. I saw Big Ben. Yeah, I did all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw Big Ben. Yeah, you know, I did the rain. It was raining all day. You know, I've been to England, you know, but you get to see something
Who
different.
are you sparring now? Just out of curiosity. Were you
For-
sparring? Did you spar anyone in
for-
Sheffield?
In Sheffield, I don't know. I forgot. Honestly,
Okay.
this was years ago. This was the amateur team. We went out there for like, we were out there for like 2 weeks at the Olympic Training Center.
Right.
You guys have a nice little training center. There's basketball
Yes.
team
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Where Joshua trains.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so this is like the smaller part of America, you know, smaller like the small towns in England. You know, you've been to Vegas. You saw Vegas, right?
Do you know what? In the last 4 weeks, I've been to Chicago, which I've never been to. I've been to Boston.
Chicago's a big one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Boston, never
Big.
been there. And I went to Alabama last week for Wilder. So I've been to 4 places now in America that I'd never been before.
Alabama and Kansas are kind of similar, only it's hotter in Alabama. But that's a small town over there too, right?
Alabama reminded me of American Pie because we went to a frat party where they were all coming up to go, yo man, where you from, dude? And all that. It reminded me of
They
American
were
Pie.
passing out beer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
They
very
country,
young,
real country.
very young, like
Yeah.
18, 19, whatever, but it's still. You know.
Whatever.
All right, Lewis, thank you very much for your time today. And like I said, we've got the workout today, press conference tomorrow, weigh-in, etc. So
Yeah.
hopefully Saturday night's a good night here
Yeah.
in
It's
North
gonna be a good night. Arias Rosado is still in the show for sure. You know, I'm already talking about it. Again, you know, everyone who keeps supporting me, appreciate it. The haters, go get more haters and tell them to tune in November 17th, Saturday night live on the Zone. Like I said, I'm ready. I'm looking to put on a great performance, and I can't wait.
Look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time.